welcome to our first Out of Credits Hordes Battle Report. I'm Cast Mike.
I'm Logix.
And today we got two brothers, Gabe and Gideon, who are going to go in a 50-point Skorne vs. Legion of Everblight deathmatch. Should be nice and bloody, so let's get right to it.
See how it goes.
We have our Legion of Everblight player, Gabe, who's going to introduce his 50 points.
There's Belphegor.
Okay.
She's good at kind of slinging a lot of spells, using a lot of magic attacks. She can buff up the magic attacks of the rest of her army, which I'll get to in a second.
Of course.
Then Belphegor kind of hangs out as a bodyguard, and she can hop inside him to get a bunch of extra armor.
Very scary.
Okay, for War Beasts, I've got Carnelian. It's kind of the standard Legion beat stick who breathes fire and is a dragon and beats stuff. Angelius is kind of a flying assassin heavy war beast. And a Seraph, which is more of a kind of a gun turret that can do a couple of little movement shenanigans around the board. And then I've also got the obligatory Legion of Everblight Shredder, lesser war beast to spread tenacity.
The ubiquitous land shark.
Yes, exactly.
Look at that little bugger. Adorable.
Then in terms of solos, I've got a Forsaken, just the Legion kind of fury management to keep the beasts in line. Two Spell Martyrs. These guys, I can arc a spell through once, then they die, so they kind of help me put my spells where they need to be. And a Sorceress riding Hellion, which is another mage to take advantage of the Thane's Feet and just kind of spray things down with magic death. As for units, with the Thane always come lots and lots of Hex Hunters, with the front line out here, as well as their leader. There's a unit of guys that do magic attacks, and that's really all they do. They're fast and stealthy.
Sounds really scary.
Last but not least, the Black Frost Shard. They're a character unit that also has magic attacks. They tend to debuff the enemy so other stuff can kill them better.
Sounds like a good time. So there you go, folks. 50 points of big scary dragons and magic slinging elves. Grand old time.
Indeed.
All right. Here's our Skorne player, Gideon, who's going to take us through his 50 points of Skorne. What do you got for us, Gideon?
Well, my caster is Tyrant Xerxes, who pretty much just a beat stick. He's got two beat sticks. He eats things with them, and then his feet just makes everything hit incredibly hard for a turn.
About as beat stick as you can get.
The beasts I'm running are the Bronze Back, which is also a beat stick, I guess. It's one of the hardest hitting models in the game, which does a ton of damage. And it's pretty beefy too. And then I've got the Gladiator, who's pretty much a staple in any Skorne list. He's got good mobility for a Skorne heavy, and he also hits really hard. To back him up, I got some Beast Handlers, which are pretty much big buffs to Beast. They help with fury management, they give him higher strength, free charges, all that good stuff.
Another one of those Skorne auto includes, huh?
Yep, most definitely. Keeping out with the auto includes, I've got an Agonizer, which is a 2-point solo that really hampers down enemy beasts and jacks, and it's just a really good thing to have in pretty much any list. The last support model I have is Optimus Marketh, who's the Skorne Warlock attachment, and he just does a bunch of stuff between upkeeping spells and slinging mana spells and eating on things.
Good old pillow pants.
In terms of units, I've got my main front line, which is the Cataphracts Trotty, led by Tyrant Vorkesh, and they're basically just an incredibly high armor, high damage unit that's really expensive, but they're good to have. I like them. Behind them, I've got the Cataphract Quarry, which are like the Satrati. They do a little bit more damage, but they're way easier to kill, and they've got harpoons that can fire things and drag them in. And then finally, I have a full unit of Annihilators, which are basically berserkers that want to die in battle and then just go crazy and kill everything.
Yeah, those things have given me a headache once or twice.
And lastly, the Swamp Gobbers, which are just kind of
walking gas cloud.
walk up, pop a cloud, and die. The rest of my army coming behind them.
If you're looking for a cheap 1-point failure, can't do much better than the Swamp Gobbers. Alright. Well, we'll be back for deployment and battle plans. There's our battlefield and the Legion of Everblight deployment right there. And what are your thoughts, Gabe, on this battlefield? What's your plan so far?
The scenario demands that we control one zone, kind of on one side, and then also control a zone on the other side, which is pretty rough with this many models on the board. It's almost always going to be full of models, so...
Looks like it's going to be messy.
I'm more thinking of trying to focus his beasts down, because he only brought 2.
Alright.
And then won't be able to bring in any fury for his caster, and probably take him down from there and just try to assassinate Xerxes.
Okay then.
Just trying to fight my way through brick upon brick of ridiculously heavy armored Skorne won't go very well.
So it looks like a standard issue Legion, screw the objective, full speed ahead plan. I like it.
Alright.
Fast, nasty, very powerful. That's pretty much Legion's standby. Alright, we'll have the Skorne deployment up next. And here's the Skorne battle deployment. Gideon, what's your plan? What do you got going on?
Basically with Xerxes, I like to just make a brick of troops with my Citrati in front because they're incredibly effective at just tanking hits. Like we've played these lists a couple times before, and like they can usually pretty reliably take the Bethane feet turned Hex Hunters, which are incredibly scary with their boosted POW 13s. But these guys get up to like 20 armor, so they're my good front line. They go with Annihilators right behind them. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I can do with Xerxes because he's got an ability that just move my guys through my own guys. So I can just move the Citrati brick up front and then have the Annihilators charge right through him and kill whatever's left after the Citrati get there. But the main thing I've got to do with this list is it's not very fast. So despite having a ton of POW, I usually end up having to take the first hit.
Okay.
It's kind of like a counter alpha strike, I guess, is the best way I can describe it. And the beasts just feel kind of like an add-on because Xerxes just loves his infantry a lot more than his beasts. He's only 5 fear and he doesn't really have any good beast support abilities. He's mainly good on the infantry, which is why I got a whole swarm of it here.
Makes sense. Well, of course, you do have the wonderful we play Skorne and therefore get beast handlers support ability.
Yep, that gives him really high POWs, free charges, killing everything, especially with the Xerxes feet pumping up their damage a ton.
Makes sense.
And yeah, my basic strategy is just move up, take a hit, and then hit right back.
Very wonderful. That martial discipline going to work for you. So looking forward to seeing it in action. All right, we'll see you at turn 1. And there's the Legion of Everblight advanced deploy with the Hex Hunters out front. And the first turn. So what's the plan for the first turn?
All right. Plan is mostly to run everything up and get in that zone.
So there's the end of the Everblight first turn. You can see they are pretty much halfway across the board already. That's what Everblight does for you. Wonderful stuff. Nothing surprising there. So we'll get the Skorne first turn. Looking like a pretty tall order, Gideon. What do you got in mind?
Well, I'm basically just gonna move up. Try not to move up too far, because he's gonna shoot me a lot. But I can't really run this turn because I need to activate a shield wall on them. But I'll just try to get up as far as I can, because not in combat yet. Not too many range attacks, just these guys.
Nice and cautious, very prudent. And there's the end of the Skorne first turn. As you can see, not quite as prodigious an advance as the Legion of Everblight, but certainly far more brick-like. Look like it's going to get bloody next turn. Alright, and the Legion of Everblight, second turn. Gabe, what are your thoughts?
Well, the decision now is whether to make this my feet turn and try to explode as much stuff with Hex Hunters before they die. Or to try to hold out and save it for when I can hit some more vulnerable targets, because all his stuff in the front is pretty much a big shiny wall of metal.
Quite literally in this case.
Yes.
Alright, well, let's see if you can pull that off. And that's the end of the Legion of Everblight first turn, and a feat turn if I wasn't mistaken. Gabe, you want to run us through what happened?
Well, I saw the stuff was in range. I made the decision to feat, which usually happens on turn 2 with Bethane. Threw a fully boosted Eruption of Spines at the Arquari after lowering their armor with the Black Rust Shard, which killed all of them. And then I used Gallows to pull the Bronze back off of the hill and lower its defense, so my Hex Hunters could eat at it. And they took it down very low, but didn't quite finish it off, so I sent the Angelias in to finish the job.
Alright. Very nasty. That is Bethane's feat turn. She can really pack a hell of a wallop. I've been on the receiving end of that.
Well,
unpleasant stuff. Oh yes, what happened to those two Hex Hunters that were standing right there? Why don't you run us through that?
They pissed off the Sorceress before the battle started, so she decided she'd take any excuse to gun them down.
Life is cheap when you're a blooded elf. Hilarious. So, nasty turn for you, Gideon. Let's see what you can do to respond.
That was sad. I love my Bronze bag. I'm not sure if I'm going to feat this turn because I can't really hit any high armor priority targets. Like, my feat does 0 things against the Hex Hunters. And my Vorkesh lives, so my Satradi are still basically immune to, like, 50% of his list. I've got my Gladiator who's probably going to slam the Angelius and kill a couple Hex Hunters, maybe hit the, no, probably not hit the Seraph. The Gladiator can kill the Angelius with or without Xerxes' feet. And then the Satradi probably just going to try to kill some Hex Hunters with the Vorkesh is good at that.
Sounds good.
And maybe save my feet for next turn.
Lovely, lovely. Let's see how it works out. So things have finally gotten real messy as Skorne has advanced into combat. Why don't you fill us in on what happened, Gideon?
Well, it turns out I forgot that my Gladiator was sleeping before the battle and he had like pillows strapped to his arms. You know, to go like this. Because those gauntlets are pretty spiky, and you know, when he was punching the Angelius, that really came into effect and he did about 8 damage.
And
that
that's
disappointing.
So the Gladiator did 8 damage, and is that 4 Fury I see sitting next to the Gladiator?
It is 4 Fury.
So with 4 Fury spent, you did 8 damage to the Angelius.
That is correct.
Wow. Poor Gladiator.
And then the Tyrant Vorkesh here just decided to shut the Gladiator up, and with his 2 Satradi buddies there, they did 9 damage to the Angelius, doing more damage to a beast than a beast that had just spent 4 Fury.
And this is why Xerxes loves his infantry more than his beasts.
Other than that, these 4 decided to go gangbang the Hex Hunter that was sitting right there, and other than that, it was a pretty uneventful turn.
Alright then. Well, let's see how Legion of Everblight can take advantage of that pillow-fisted Gladiator over there. Alright, Legion of Everblight. Beginning of turn 3. What's your plans here?
Well, I have 1 more Angelius than I expected to have this turn.
No doubt.
When he moved in there, I just kind of gave him up as dead to take down the Bronze back. toss out a couple of offensive spines, lower the Annihilator count, and pretty much ignore the Citrati until they go away.
That's usually a good piece of advice there. I've personally never managed to kill an entire Citrati unit. I don't know if anyone has. So, good luck, and we'll see how this works out. So there's the end of the third turn for Legion of Everblight. Looks once again pretty messy. Why don't you fill us in on what happened, Gabe?
Well, the Angelius managed to put a pretty decent sting in the Gladiator, take out a little less than half its health. Defender's Ward still kept me from doing too much. Other than that, my Hex Hunters kind of bounced off the Citrati. Now that I don't have my feet, they don't do a whole lot. They're still relatively effective, but the Citrati are immune to their spells, so they have to poke at them with their wimpy little swords. The Carnivean over here managed to take out a zone of Gobbers and some Annihilators with some help from the Black Frost Shard and give me a point on this side.
Very good.
Although this side looks significantly harder to score in. Other than that,
Certainly does.
the Thane used her Fury to heal the Angelius a bit and be slightly out of range on the Rupture Spines.
Of course. And if I'm not mistaken, that Angelius is now out of combat with that Gladiator. How did that happen?
That would be from the Seraph flying over and slipstreaming him out, just as a kind of silly shenanigans move. I'm not sure it will actually help me at all.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we don't like Legion of Everblight. So, Gideon, what's your plan? What's your action response right now?
Well, he killed a decent amount of stuff, as you can see the casualty area over here.
So you're starting to grow a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think, but I'm definitely popping feet this turn.
Of course.
I think these Annihilators that are left over will be able to take down the Carnivean if I put Fury on them and the charge with Xerxes' feet. It's a lot of damage.
Sounds messy.
Hopefully the Gladiator will not frenzy. If he does, I guess he gets to paste the Hex Hunter. Otherwise, he's probably going to try to kill the Seraph.
Good times.
I think with Xerxes' feet, these three Citrati with Vorkesh leading a combined melee should be able to take out the Angelius. And other than that, we'll just see how it goes.
All right. Well, best of luck. Let's see how it works out. And that's the end of the Skorne turn 3. I'm noticing a significant lack of Legion Warbeasts on the battlefield. Tell us what happened, Gabe.
Well, the first thing that happened was Xerxes decided it was the time for his feet.
Of course.
Fight was about to happen.
Xerxes is a bad man. Just a fact.
And right after that, the Annihilators got a pretty good charge on the Carnivean. And actually, only the front three were required to take down the Carnivean. The back two were incredibly disappointed.
Yep, and I see there's also a couple missing members of Black Frost Shard over there.
Yeah, just one. This guy got a little bit sick and took him out on the
Oh, berserk. So, what happened on this side of the field?
On this side of the field, these three took another whack at the Angelius, putting it on its last leg, pretty much.
So, put it down to, I believe it was 1 hit point?
It was 1 hit point.
Ouch.
At which point, the Beast Handlers tried to take a hand in the matter. The Unit Meter ran over here trying to finish it off. Failed. But kind of the side effect, or the Sorceress over here, was actually taken down by a lone Beast Handler.
Wow. So we have a Beast Handler gunning for Indiana Jones' position. Good to know. And the Angelius is dead though. How did he die?
After Miss Marquette was actually able to line up a charge on the Angelius. I just bonked him on the nose for the last hit point. He's right there in front of the Gladiator.
There he is. So, Optimus Marketh has just killed a heavy.
He did.
I think this is the first time I've seen Optimus Marketh kill damn near anything, let alone a heavy war beast, in any game. So this is an amusing game. Let's see how Legion can respond to this one. All right, Gabe. Rather amusing, if nasty turn last turn. But what do you got in store?
Well, I have significantly fewer beasts.
Sure.
But these Annihilators are grouped pretty nicely for my Forsaken to walk up and spread some blighted fun.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Other than that, I'm hoping Baal can earn his 3 points here. Maybe stab some Satrati. He is a weapon master, and if he's lucky, pull off a battle wizard spray and gun down some more stuff.
Should be a good time.
Well, that turn was a resounding meh. The Forsaken managed to take out a few Annihilators with her Blight Field, whatever it's called.
Yep, looks like there's still 2 left though.
Yep, tough rolls and a couple misses. Baal ran in, tried to stab the Satrati, but their defeated armor is just too high. He managed to do a few points and Shadowbind 1. Then the Seraphs slipstreamed him out of combat and shot up some stuff that killed approximately 1 beast handler.
Alright, Gideon, closing stages of the game. What do you got for us?
Well, I'm hoping that Annihilator can maybe berserk into a Forsaken of a couple Black Frost Shard. Other than that, these guys are still struggling with the Hex Hunters standing in front of them because they can't actually hit them. Defense 16 is pretty high and they have no mat buffs.
Yeah, those Hex Hunters can be a pretty tenacious to remove.
These 3 are kind of the group now. They're going to try to go after the Seraph because he's kind of stuck between a whole mess of guys.
Understandable.
And maybe these beast handlers can do something. I don't know, they need like 11s to hit the Hex Hunters. Like there's a time up at least.
Well, not like there's a whole lot of beasts for them to go handle, so. But we'll see if Xerxes can get in there and cause a mess. Could be amusing. We're going to see the Bats of Doom, ladies and gentlemen, on Xerxes take out a giant flying alien bug thing. So, let's see if this will work out, and hopefully finish the game off here. Okay, that was a pretty devastating Skorne turn. As you'll notice, there is precisely 1 Legion Warbeast on the field, and that would be Belphegor. Poor lonely Belphegor. So walk us through what happened, Gideon.
Well, basically, I was still just trying to mop up the Legion stuff that was there. I killed a couple Hex Hunters, including Baal. Xerxes actually himself charged up and knocked out Seraph and Baal. After warming up a little bit with his clubs.
Yeah, was it both of his initial attacks missed?
Yes, both of his initial attacks, including the charge, which is kind of sad. But
ouch.
He will build off on his damage rolls. I'm not too mad at him.
Fair enough.
This Hex Hunter, the unit leader that makes all the tough rolls, was able to take out the remaining 2 Black Frost Shard members.
Very nice.
It was nice, and then the Beast Handlers kind of
fluffled
at the remaining Hex Hunters.
That's adorable. Alright then. So things looking pretty grim. Definitely last turns of the game. And a point for Skorne. Alright, things are looking pretty grim, Gabe.
They are indeed.
So what are your plans?
Pretty much my plan this turn is to double Gallows Xerxes in out of that Agonizer zone, and then have Belphegor go to town. And if I don't kill him, it's pretty much game.
So, looks like Xerxes is unfortunately still standing. What happened there, Gabe?
He is indeed. Well, the thing tossed out a Gallows to yank him into Belphegor range. That did put some light damage on him, then charged in, missed with both her claws, and I decided to try for another Gallows for a little more damage, which didn't do anything. Then Belphegor started swinging, quite impressively actually. First swing did 12, which took out his transfers, he had 11 left.
That is a heck of a damage roll.
Second swing did 6 more, bringing him down to 5, and third swing failed to do damage, leaving him alive at 5 health.
Naturally. So we've got a very damaged, but still kicking Xerxes over here, and it looks like we're about to find out if the thing can fly across the battlefield and propelled by 2 clubs. So
it'll probably only take 1 club.
Naturally. Alright, and that's it. Bethane is down. Tell us, Gabe, exactly what happened in that rather amusing little assassination run?
Well, Bethane thought maybe she'd try and claw at Xerxes' incredibly heavy armor.
And that didn't work out so well.
Then ate one of his enormous sticks in the face.
Gideon, how much damage did you do exactly with 1 attack?
I think it was 15 damage.
15 damage with
which
1 club.
To be 1 more than Bethane's self.
Ouch. You were right. It didn't take 2 bats. It only took the 1. Well done, gentlemen. Gideon, congratulations on your victory. And the grudge match between Bethane and Xerxes continues.
My battle plan kind of started off solid with using the feet to take down the Rod's back and doing some pretty early damage. But then it kind of tailored off because after my feet was gone, I didn't really have the power to take down ridiculously heavy armor and Xerxes brick. So then the rest of the match was more or less me kind of throwing all I had at a brick wall and the brick wall bouncing back and hurting a lot. A couple mistakes I made. I think I was a little too careless with the Carnivian. I just kind of left it where it could die without really doing anything. It got me a point, but that was pretty much a move considering the other zone was supposed to try. Then on the last turn, I'm not sure why I didn't enter Buffalo Gore with the thing. Not that Xerxes can't take down Buffalo Gore in one turn as easily as you can with the thing by yourself.
Well, for me, I think the biggest disappointment from the game was my Titan Gladiator, who really had one shot to glory, and he just really messed it up. He got the perfect charge off on Angelius, spent all 4 of his fury to do a total of 8 damage. And that was pretty disappointing. So he basically just ended up being a pillow for Xerxes to transfer into for the rest of the game. And but with these guys, I haven't run Tyrant Vorkash, which is the UA for this try very much. He actually did very, very well because he did this job with Gladiator equipment, took down Angelius with his little games to try and just roll on for the entire game. The Annihilators also made me happy with 5 of the 3 of them were able to just take down the Carnivian. That was good. I wasn't very good there at the end. I was like, oh god, I've got one theory camped out Xerxes, and he's got a full turn of the Fate spells like in the face as well.
All right.
And else I was pretty silly with the little beast handlers, one shots.
Indiana Jones, the Beast Handler, was probably the best thing I've seen all game. Gentlemen, thank you once again. And this is another Out of Credits War Machine Battle Report. If you're in the Ann Arbor area, stop by, get your game on, and support your friendly local gaming store. Thank you much.